So most car dealers are broke, and how do I know this? Well, it's because I am one. This is my car lot, and these are my cars that you see behind me. I've been a car dealer for about 14 years now, and what most people don't realize is that car dealers don't actually pay for their cars. They don't own their cars, and it's because they can't afford them. So in this video, I'm going to explain to you how car dealers actually buy their inventory, and later on, I'll actually tell you how much debt I have in my cars and what I do to personally buy the cars for my car dealership. So all these cars that you see around me right now, these are all cars that I just purchased at auction. So now how do most car dealers actually buy cars just like these for their inventory on their lots? Well, they don't pay outright for them. What most car dealers do is they do the equivalent of like swiping a credit card each and every time they go to the auction and actually purchase a vehicle from the auction. And this line of credit that they use is called a dealership's floor plan. And what they have is they have a limit of what they can actually spend. They have to pay interest on these cars. And I can tell you that these floor plans cost dealerships lots and lots of money. Think just like you use a credit card to pay a bill or go out to eat or to buy something that you want. If you don't pay that amount in full at the end of the month, well, you have to pay interest on top of the money that you spent for that item, for that bill, for that meal. And it's the same thing with these cars that sit on these dealership lots. They have to pay interest as these cars sit on their lots and they don't sell them. So they can get themselves into a lot of hurt whenever they have a car that they buy and they don't sell it for 3-4 months. They have to pay interest each and every month that they actually keep that car on their lot. But here's the thing, because most of these car dealers are broke, they have to go this route in using debt and using the credit and using these floor plans to be able to actually buy their inventory. And obviously, if they had all the money to be able to stock their lots, they wouldn't go this route because it's just an extra expense that a lot of dealers have to pay month after month after month that hits their bottom line just because they have to borrow the money to be able to buy their vehicles. So here's the thing, because most car dealers don't have any money, they essentially are living paycheck to paycheck with their car dealership. And what I mean by that is they really can't buy more cars until they sell them. And I can see this play out in real time when I go to these used car dealer auctions, when I pay attention to where market values go, where wholesale values go throughout the year. So just to give you an example of this, during springtime, we call it spring selling season. This is like Christmas for used car dealers. Well, people get their tax refund checks back. And then they come and they basically empty our car lots out, and what happens is on the wholesale level for at these auctions, well, the prices spike there, and that's because all these dealers do the same thing like I do here at my lot, and we sell tons and tons of cars during that time, and then all the car dealers have to rush to the auction, and they're all trying to buy all at the same time to reload their lot, and that makes the wholesale values, the wholesale prices, or what we pay for cars spike. It happens every single year, and it just shows you how reactionary that a lot of these car dealers are. What we do, because we know how the market moves, is we try to load up before this happens so we have enough inventory to sell through, so we don't have to rush the auction and go do that. But most dealers, they don't have the ability or the opportunity even to be able to do that because they're living this paycheck to paycheck type of business lifestyle. And when you do that, it gets very dangerous. That means you're at the mercy of the car market. And when prices go up, well, it's probably because you just sold a lot of cars and you have to go pay whatever it is to be able to reload your lot. Or if the prices are going down, well, that means you probably aren't selling a bunch of stuff, so you can't take advantage of that opportunity because you have a lot of cars sitting on your lot, your credit's tapped, you have no more floor plan space to be able to actually buy more cars. So a lot of these dealerships get pinched when times are really bad, and they have to pay way too much when times are good. And if you like hearing about the car market through the eyes of me, a small used car dealer, make sure you're subscribed to this channel because that's exactly what I talk about here. So now an interesting problem can arise for a lot of these car dealers that do get pinched on their floor plans. Well, their cars can actually get repossessed, and a lot of people don't know this because when you hear repo, what do you think of? You think of the bank taking someone's car that they couldn't pay for. You think of, okay, if you miss your car payments, then that buy here, pay here car dealer will come and snatch your car up and take it back to their lot, right? Well, car dealers can actually have their cars repossessed too. They are borrowing money on each and every one of these vehicles that they have on their lot. And if they miss their payments, if they can't make payments, if they overextend their credit, if they default on a lot of these loans that they're taking out for their actual inventory, well, that bank, that lending institution, that floor plan holder can actually go to their car lot and they can repossess all of their cars if they want to, if they call that note and that dealership can't come up with the money. And keep in mind, these dealerships, they're actually borrowing this money because they didn't have it in the first place. So if they can't make their interest payments, if they go through a few slow months where they can't even keep up with the payments that that's due on a lot of these cars, well, they can get into a lot of hurt because they live paycheck to paycheck, because they're broke. They don't have the money to satisfy these loans. The bank, the floor plan holder, they will come and they will pick up their cars. And what I see a lot of times at these auctions, especially when times get slower, when dealers get pinched, I see cars running through the auction that have the floor plan company's name on it. The floor plan company helps these dealerships get out of these loans by dumping their cars at auction. And here's the problem for a lot of these car dealers. Whenever an independent, a small used car dealer like myself runs a car through the auction, when a floor plan company runs a car through the auction, well, all the other dealers know while that car is there. It's because that small used car dealer like myself couldn't sell it on their lot. So if I see that, I'm not bidding on a car like that, because if they couldn't sell it on their lot, why do I think I can sell it on my lot? So that means those cars bring a lot less than what that initial dealer actually paid for that car. So then that dealership is going to be on the hook for the difference of that car. And remember, they didn't have the money to pay their interest payments. They didn't have the money to pay the loan off. They don't have any money to begin with. So they're not going to be able to pay for the difference of this car. And what happens then is that their floor plans can get cut. They can even lose their floor plans. And it's a big time problem. It can make a lot of car dealerships actually go out of business when this happens. Because if they can't buy inventory, well, they can't make any money because they can't sell any cars. If you can't sell any cars, then why are you even in business? That's when they go out. So because of all of this, the way that the system's set up, all the debt that's in the car market, it leads to dealerships becoming very predatory, because that means that they're on a timer the second that they purchase that car. So a lot of time, I mean, car dealers, we get it, right? We're predatory. We're trying to get after customers. We're trying to take advantage of customers. And in a lot of cases, that's going to be true. Not for me, that's not how I operate my business, but the system, if you throw out just car dealers being shady in general, the system is set up for car dealers to be under the gun the second that they buy a car. So they're doing everything in their power to sell that car as quickly as possible. And a lot of times that means taking advantage of customers, getting customers into cars that maybe they didn't want, or maybe they don't qualify for, or maybe they just, car dealers lie just to try to get that consumer in that car. And it's because that car dealer knows that every day that they keep that car after that first 30 days, after that first 60 days, well, they're going to be paying more and more and more money on that car, and it's going to keep eating into their bottom line and costing them tons and tons of money. So that's why these car dealers are so predatory and try to get these cars off of their lot as quickly as possible. So now what do I do to buy all these cars for myself? I just explained to you that most car dealers, they don't have any money. They have to borrow money to do this. So how much debt do I have? Zero. I actually pay cash for every single one of the cars that I buy, and for the last 14 years, I have never taken out one penny of debt to actually run my business. I've grown organically. I don't like debt, and it's not something that I want to have to actually run my business. I think it's a massive burden for a lot of these car dealers that actually go that route to be able to fund their inventory, and that's not something that I'm willing to take on. And I've grown slower over the last 14 years than a lot of car dealers have been able to, because they had this money from the bank. But my way is a lot safer, and there's not going to be a situation where I get myself into trouble because I can't sell cars. I can go through 3-4 months of not selling cars, and the only thing that I'm going to have to pay is what it costs to run my business, and nothing on the actual car. There's no interest or anything that I have to pay.